Okay, uh, back. So I think I've got the live chat enabled now, so that you can now send me all sorts of messages, nice ones. Be kind to me, and we can talk about books. We had mentioned about what kind of books do you read? Do you collect books? If you could, what kind of books would you collect? Um, do you have childhood favorites? Who's your favorite author? We can talk about all sorts of stuff. So send me a message, and we can chat about books. In the meantime, one of the authors, I said, we had talked about surprise authors. One I just kind of picked up randomly one day and said, I'm going to read this book because I think it'll be fun. And it turned out he was Canadian, which I found out many years later. Um, that's helpful, huh? How about there? Uh, and I'm not even sure how to pronounce his name because I've never heard it pronounced out loud. So it's A.E. Van Vogt, Van Vogt. Any Dutch folks watching that could help us with the pronunciation of that? Um, so a science fiction writer. And the one I read was called The Voyage of the Space Beagle. Kind of a title, right? I don't even know why I picked that one because I thought the title was kind of goofy. But and again, as I found out later, the novel, The Voyage of the Space Beagle, was actually a bunch of stories that he had written and was kind of cobbled together into a novel at a later date, which was uh, not uncommon, I guess, back in those days. I mean, this gentleman was writing uh, science fiction. I believe started in the late 30s. I want to say 40s, somewhere in there, and yeah. So I picked this book up. I read The Voyage of the Space Beagle, and was blown away. Oh, what an awesome story! Uh, and I would highly recommend it. They're not always easy to find, but there's paperback copies out there, and uh, it's A.E. It's initials, and then his last name is Van Vogt, V-A-N capital V-O-G-T. Voyage of the Space Beagle. You can always track one down, I'm sure. Okay, I have the live chat set up. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Community guidelines, that's good. Bailey the Bookman, say something. Well, I have been. I'm afraid to click on anything that I might shut down the stream again. So I'm just going to keep babbling. Behind me this is my fiction section here at Bailey Books. I'm just going to try this. What the heck? There we are. So on the right hand side of the screen is the start of my author. No, hold on. That's the start of the fiction section. And it goes all the way around behind me and down to the end there where you see the cowboy standing on top of the shelf. That's the end of it. So I have over the years specialized in signed books and out of print books, collectible books, because selling on the internet, you need to have some sort of a niche that will let you stand out from the Powells and the Amazons of the world who are selling books, $5 books with free shipping. A guy like me cannot compete with that. So my niche was signed books, out of print collectible, something that made them a little bit unusual. And as the store grew, I do have lots of stuff that are $10 books, $15 books, that sort of thing that are going to cost a small fortune. I don't have any books that cost a small fortune, unfortunately. Okay, I'm still not doing something right here because I'm not getting any messages. Maybe everybody went home because they thought after I turned it off the first time, this is a waste of time. Ooh. Da-da-da-da. There was just. Okay, I don't know. Says I'm live. I'm gonna have to assume that's true. Okay, I'm gonna click on some of this stuff and see what happens. Participants, welcome. Oh, okay. I'm just going to type something in here. Anybody see that? Okay. I'm going to keep talking about books. Here is a surprise author for me. Yeah, Ian Fleming. So again, I've seen all 50 of the James Bond movies over the years, many of them in the theater from way back when. I had never read one of the actual books by Ian Fleming. So the last year or so, I decided I'm gonna read some Ian Fleming. Tons of people collect Ian Fleming, and rightfully so. There's all sorts of interesting stuff about Ian Fleming. He was actually part of the British, I think it was the OSS, they called it, in World War II, and was on some very, very interesting missions, including one that was in and around the Enigma machine, trying to steal one from the Germans without them knowing about it, so they could analyze it. Uh, so crazy, crazy guy. Um, so I read one. I read one, and the first one, of course, is Casino Royale, and it's really, really quite good. I was like blown away how readable, how he drives the story along, what a different character James Bond is in the books as opposed to the movies. I mean, there's similarities, no doubt, but he's not the guy you see on the screen, that's for sure. So yeah, I've become a big fan of Ian Fleming and the James Bond books. So now I'm, guess what, starting to collect those. They're a little pricey though. If you want first editions, you know, with the jackets, first British printings, all of that sort of stuff, they're a little expensive. So like this is a book club edition, which is fine. They're good stories. I want to read those. Okay. A book I read recently from the suggestion of our youngest daughter is called Ready Player One. What a great book! We actually listened to it an audio book when we were driving her from Edmonton to Vancouver, where she her partner were moving to, and we got to the outskirts of Vancouver, and the book wasn't over. So she was kind enough to she bought me a copy of it, and I read it on holidays here a few weeks ago, and it was great. I loved it. It was, and I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember the author's name, and I don't have the book with me because my wife's reading it now. Anyways, it was great. Surprise kind of an author for me. Probably something I never would have picked up and read on my own. Clearly, I'm still doing something wrong because no one's sending me any questions. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna get a kid to come on with me on the next one here, so you can be my technical director. Here's a book, was standard reading in junior high school when I was a kid. To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee. Only book, really. Of course, she did the sequel here a couple of years ago, just before she died. That was kind of shady. I never did read that one. But this, To Kill a Mockingbird, excellent, excellent book. And if you've never read it, I would highly recommend it. Okay, last book I'm going to talk about, and then we're going to call it a day here until I get smarter about live YouTube. John Dunning. I'd never heard of John Dunning other than kind of on the fringes of book collecting, because he owned a bookstore in Denver, Colorado. Really pivotal, kind of a well-known American rare book dealer. He wrote a series of books starring Cliff Janeway as a Denver detective who also collects books on the side. So he intertwined the two, the detective, the murder mysteries, the book collecting, all into one awesome series starring Cliff Janeway. The first one called Book to Die. Second one is this, The Bookman's Wake. If you like books, you like mysteries, this is the guy for you. Awesome surprise. Okay, I would really like to thank anyone and everyone who hung in and watched some of this. We're going to tune it up, get a little smarter, and we'll try again. Stay safe out there. Remember, wash your hands, keep your distance, keep safe, and it'll all be good. If you are local here to St. Albert and you need a book, call me. I'll deliver it. I can bring you some stuff. If you're stuck at home, you're a senior, let me know. We'll help you out, okay? You can also find all of my books at baileybookman.com, online at the website, if you want to have a look through all the stuff we have in the store. Okay, I will see you soon.